Hello. Okay, this is going to be short and sweet because I always see these patterns, and like as I up level, I attract, which is really cool. I attract women who are stronger. My clients are always like, I know these next bitches are going to be stronger. I'm like, that's right, because as I get stronger, that's what happens is my frequency rises and I get to attract clients that are stronger. That's part of the beauty of growing. It's not like everything stays the same. We know that in the universe, everything is either growing or dying. So that's really freaking cool and amazing. But I'm seeing this pattern now from women coming in, and there's this confusion because we're supposed to be these like positive women who take care of everyone and like don't be complainy. And something that has always been there is they'll giggle about everything. So like, oh, everything's fine, yeah. And then once we dig a little bit deeper, it's like it's not fine. So it's such a trip that I can get a woman on the phone who is a coach or who is like an artist or a mentor, however we want to share our love with the world. We don't need to share it my way. We all have our own way that's really fun and easy and comes natural to us. Like I would never tell my really quiet, like beautiful, I think I have a few French clients that are like so quiet and soft spoken, and I'm not going to be like, you have to come in a room and fuck shit up. Like they do it their way, right? What I'm doing is helping you strengthen what you feel comfortable with, like your natural gifts. So some of my clients are really loud like me and cuss all the time, and some of them don't. But I'll speak to a woman, and I know that this is really common because it happens all the time. So the pattern that I've just noticed this week, and I love to talk about stuff that just happens, is a woman who is fucking broke, let's just be real, who says, I'm undercharging, I'm undervaluing myself. I totally have scarcity issues, so I've got money blocks is like a comfortable way for them to say it. And but I'm like so much, I'm doing so much, I've done so much more work than everyone else. So they like put themselves on this pedestal, and I am all for owning our fucking strengths. Like, oh my God, my biggest thing is like, dude, we retrain the nervous system. We totally celebrate, because the confusion is when they do something amazing, it's like, oh, that wasn't good enough. And I'm like, no, that was amazing. You should be celebrating that. And then when they totally go into their ego and go into a victim, it's like, oh, that wasn't my fault. I'm like, no, you could have done that differently. So there's these mixed programs and patterns. They like don't celebrate and feel really uncomfortable receiving, and receiving means money. Receiving means sexually. So I'll hear this thing like, oh, I'm fine sexually, or oh, I'm fine. And they tell me all these things that are fine. And I'm like, well, I've never met a woman whose self-worth is on point, who she feels totally confident and with conviction, and then can't fucking charge clients her worth, or doesn't have the relationship that she wants, or isn't able to travel and doesn't feel like she's good enough. You don't get to be on both sides of the fence. Not that anybody's meant to be perfect, but a woman who has self-worth and confidence and lives her life with conviction, has courage, isn't afraid of money, isn't fucking broke. That's not a confident woman. That's not a leader. That's not the type, oh, let's have little girls look up to women who are so insecure and afraid of money and don't know how to charge because they don't believe they're good enough. Like, that's not somebody that we want our little girls and the generation that's coming before us to look up to. So it's happening so freaking much where I get these women and they have so many talents and so many gifts, and like on paper they look amazing, and then they come to me and it's like, oh, I just hear this all the time, like, but I think I need more qualifications, like I probably need another certification. Like, why would anybody listen to me? And I had this question asked to me, like, Lani, what's wrong? Why do the women feel like a fraud? Why can't they charge their worth? What's wrong with them? Do they need more training? Do they not have enough certifications? And I'm like, dude, the women in my program have more certifications than like a fucking room full of doctors and lawyers. Like, that's not the problem. They continuously put themselves in a state of, oh, I don't know enough yet. I'm not worthy enough to do this. Or if I fail, I'll fucking die. Or they have failed, so they don't believe they're good enough, so I'll just continue pretending like I need another certification. And it like takes the pressure off. Like, they don't need to try. They don't need to put themselves out there. They don't need to get uncomfortable. So what I'm here to like really inspire you to feel, and I I wouldn't ever tell anybody like how to live their life. If you want to, it's fine. Not everybody wants to play big and be a leader and change the world. Not everybody wakes up with this like incredible yearning desire to change the freaking world. But I do believe that every woman was put here to feel really proud of herself and wake up. And I always tell my clients, I'm like, I don't freaking care if you make beds for hamsters. Like, if you're fucking fulfilled and going to bed at the end of the night, like, I am living in my purpose, I'm amazing, and you're not afraid. Because when we're afraid of something, it is completely out of our power. When we're afraid of money, that means there's a negative connection to it, and I can't deal with it. When we're afraid of rejection, oh my God, if I get rejected, I'll die. So I always, and this is so funny because don't think that I used to use this as an excuse in spirituality, like, oh, money, I don't want a lot of money anyway. Or it's hilarious that the women who always say they don't care about money are always the ones who are complaining about being broke, and if they had money, it would just be happier. It's like, I've never met somebody who, like, that's just what, oh, I don't care about money, I'm spiritual, I don't want everyone to think I'm stingy. Or, oh really, all you care about is money? But then the next breath, like, oh my God, I don't have any money. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, you're literally so confused right now. So do you want to learn how to have a good relationship with money? Because money is just fucking paper. Like, tomorrow the government could say, okay, bananas are money, and then we wouldn't give a fuck about the paper and we'd start caring about bananas. Like, it's not the actual thing. But when there's a fear connected to it, and I've heard, I mean, this is the same thing with self-worth. I have the same philosophy for everything. I've heard this talked about birthing too. Like, the best hypnobirthing women in the world, in the country, say, like, we take the fear out of giving birth. Like, anytime there's fear, we don't breathe, our muscles constrict, everything gets hurt. If there's fear involved in the body, now we've completely like left the body, we're not embodied, we're in fight or flight, and everything is tougher. Cortisol is being released, we can't breathe, our muscles are clenched, we're like going in defense mode. And living in fear is never, ever, ever the formula for living up to our full potential. So when I was spiritual, I was always like, oh, I don't need that. And then I'd fucking complain and be like, have anxiety all night about not having any money. And now that I'm not afraid of money, because I'm not afraid of failing, I'm not afraid of being rejected, I'm not perfect. I was just talking to a client today, and I'm like, sister, get used to it. Like, you're gonna fucking get no's. I mean, like, it's not like I'm like, oh yay, like I got rejected, but I know I'm not gonna die, and I'm not afraid of it. And I always know that the women that I attract are ready to do the work now. They are fucking badass Wonder Women who want to take action now, who want to change their lives now, because that's the type I am. I'm not like, oh, I'm manana, or like, I don't care about money. Oh, I'm so fucking broke. Or like, oh, my only problem is procrastination. Like, I'm fine, I'm amazing, I'm miserable, I'm not living up to my full potential. Like, how can you fucking say those things in the same sentence? And it blows my mind when I hear these women. So now I'm like, the numbers don't lie. So if you really are so fucking confident, if you really are so connected to your sexual energy, and if everything is so amazing, but your only problem is procrastination, but you're so far above everybody else because you've done so much work and you're so busy, then why the fuck are you broke? I've never met a woman who loves herself, who's confident, who has conviction. I'm not saying that everybody that has money is amazing and enlightened. Like, I know plenty of people who have money and they're not enlightened, but I'm saying I've never met a confident woman who is empowered, and she walks in the room and you just feel her fucking love and you feel her energy, and she's inspiring you to be better, and you're like, this is life, like, this is love. Oh my God, she has an amazing relationship. She has a healthy, strong body. She's actually making an impact on the world. I've never met a woman like that who is then like, oh, I can't charge me. Oh, I'm not with charging, or, oh, I'm such a procrastinator, like I can't launch this program. It's fucking impossible. Like, just like I've never met a depressed person that's like, yeah, let's go run a fucking marathon. Woo, I have energy. Like, you only get to be on one side of the fence. You don't get to be on both sides of the fence. Either we're embodied and we have energy, and numbers don't lie. What does your bank account say? What does the scale say? What do your cortisol levels say? If your cortisol levels are through the fucking roof and your bank account is in the shitter and you can't launch a program for the life of you, or you're so afraid of money that you're just stuck being broke all the time and feeling like, oh, money's my only problem. Oh, procrastination's my only problem, but I'm so far past everybody. Girl, you trippin'. Because since when is I'm broke and spiritual, and my only problem is procrastination, and I'm settling for a life less than I was put here to fucking live. Since when is that ever a goal? Ever. Money isn't something that I used to always be able to talk about, but obviously this is something that I do talk about every day. And as I love saying, the reason why I'm so comfortable talking about it is because I worked with mentors who were comfortable talking about it. And when my male mentors were like, I made a fucking shit ton of money, it was because they were so proud of themselves, because they offered so much value, because they were making a lasting impact on the world. So if we don't even value ourselves enough to like invest in ourselves, or it's such a trip to me when somebody tells me that they're settling and they're not living up to their full potential. And obviously negative momentum is a thing. So I don't ever meet somebody at 30 that's not living up to their full potential. And then without reprogramming, all of a sudden at 40, they're like, found the magic pill. It's obviously worse. We obviously get worse. We're either growing or we're dying. There's momentum positively or there's negative momentum. We don't ever just stay the same. So it is such a trip to me when I speak to a woman who tells me that if she goes another 10 years like this, her life is going to be, she'll have regret. She'll have settled. Her life won't have a total purpose. She won't be sharing what she was put here to share. She'll be playing small. She'll be hiding. But then it's like, oh, but then there's money. It is just such a trip to me. And I always think, does this bitch seriously think that she's going to be on her deathbed and not have changed these programs and gotten herself ill and sick and pushed away people that she loved and hurt people that she loved? You don't think that we hurt our kids or our family when we feel like we're not good enough? We're hurting everybody around us that we love. As soon as the moment we judge us, we're judging everybody around us. That's the most negative, hurtful, it's just the most painful energy ever. And you think you're going to sit there on your deathbed and go, I'm so glad that I didn't spend a couple $1,000s on myself. That was really worth the fucking resentment and the regret and the emptiness that I feel now. It just blows my mind. Chris and I, dude, we just freaking spent 10 grand on a new coach for YouTube. Like, what the hell? We don't know how to do it. Do you think that like sitting in your room and I mean, it absolutely blows my mind. So I'm all for positive reinforcement. My thing is like, oh my God, I love lifting women up. I love celebrating wins. This is something that every woman comes into my program and is like, oh my God, I don't want to make anyone feel comfortable. Like, I just had a client yesterday who's freaking killing it, making shit tons of money. And she's like, oh my God, I get to own these wins. I've worked so hard for this. Wow, the old me just wanted to hide because I didn't want anyone else to feel bad. And it was like, I didn't want to outshine anybody. And then we cleared that up really fast because I was like, let's get real. Have you ever, when you are around a woman who's so confident and so full of love and full of this kindness and this compassion, and it's this really genuine love, and she's really successful, we all know that that inspires us to step up and not fucking settle and totally own our worth and declare, I'm here to create. I'm not here to sit back in the sidelines and bitch and be miserable. That's so inspiring. And she's like, it's true. Like, that's why I've seen women like that and I'm inspired. And I'm like, yes, now you get to be that woman. You get to be the one leading the way that's shining. We get to talk about money because when we're giving value and we're getting measurable results and when we're teaching women how to step into their power, women who are hiding and settling, there is literally nothing more precious than going to bed at night and going, I am living in purpose. I am so freaking proud of myself. There is nothing that could ever put a price on that. Ever. So I'll end with procrastinating and being broke and not being able to charge your worth and being afraid of money means that you have very, very low self-worth. I mean, maybe no self-worth. No to low. There's no way that you have high self-worth and you're this confident, amazing sexual woman and you feel courage and you feel good enough and you don't doubt yourself. It's absolutely impossible. You only get to be on one side of the fence. So this is a big problem. And I get that you're not suicidal right now. This is the thing that it's like, well, I'm not, I used to be suicidal. I used to be miserable and I'm not there now. So I'm doing so much better, but I'm super fucking broke, can't charge my worth, totally procrastinate, and shut off when I need to be open, because it's so counterintuitive to totally open up in these new uncomfortable scenarios when the old us just wants to like shut off and like protect ourselves. And I get that you're doing better, but what I'm here to do is to inspire you and challenge those old ways of thinking and going, but is broke really good? Is feeling undervalued and overworked and overwhelmed and exhausted good? Is that a goal for you? Is being afraid of money make you feel good at night? And when you lay in bed by yourself, because it's not the money that's going to make you feel good, it's not the, attention or the likes, but when you're in bed and it's just you and source, or you and God, or you and universe, whatever you call it, and you're in bed and you're breathing and it's like, are you freaking cool with that? Like, I'm laying in bed going, fuck yeah, I didn't settle today. I went 100%. I didn't hold back. I didn't waste a moment. I didn't fucking sit in any dog shit. I didn't blame anybody. I kept my energy high, not because I always get what I want, but because I want to be what I want. I want amazing women who want to take action now. So that's what I am all the time. I want a woman who's 100% committed and plays full out and doesn't fucking complain. So that's what I am. I ain't winning all the time, sister. But I sure as shit am not fucking broke and undervaluing myself and going to bed at night feeling overwhelmed and like can't get shit done again, spinning out in the hamster wheel. So we're at a crossroads now where I get that you're not suicidal. I get that you're not at your rock bottom. Cool. I made these steps too. But since when are you okay with being mediocre? Since when are you okay with sticking here and wasting so much time you can't get back? Let's get real. So how much time have you already wasted? When we put value out, I was telling my clients, I'm like, I feel like I have like a fucking money machine and a love machine, like right here with me, because it's an unlimited resource that's just energy. So the more I fill up with love, the more energy I tap into, the more I value myself, the more I share my truth, the more open-hearted and loving and compassionate I am, guess what shows up? Incredible women who are ready to do the work, ready to invest, ready to do it now, because you know what? They're being what they want to attract. They want clients. They want partners. They want friends. They want a career that's showing up now, ready to fucking invest, ready to do the work with a good attitude. So that's how they show up to me. I'm really inspiring you and challenging those old belief systems of, since when is it okay for us, like as a woman, our superpower is this strength, this Wonder Woman energy. So when is it ever okay to settle for less than what you were put here to be, do, and share? When is it ever okay to be broke and afraid of money and not fucking traveling and not being able to do shit that you love because of money? Because it's not the fucking money, it's your self-worth. That's just a symptom. But please, if there's anything that you can get from this now, it's take a pause in a moment and feel, because if you're not okay settling for where you are now and you know that your potential is past the moon, the only way to fix that is by doing something new, by making a change, by learning from somebody who isn't afraid of money, by learning from someone who has been in your shoes, who was scarce, who didn't have self-worth, who didn't rocket launch, who had no skills about business and then learned them. Because if one person can do it, anyone can do it. So don't freaking settle. What is your legacy? Dear God, at the end of your life, are you going to sit there, oh, I procrastinated, I was broke, I was afraid of money, oh, I never lived up. If that is not okay with you and I'm speaking to your soul, then make a fucking move. Do not settle. We don't need to be afraid of anything. We have these strategies and formulas that work now that really take the fear out. So if there's something that's holding you back from fear, this ends up being a choice. What you're not changing, you're choosing. I get that it's uncomfortable. I get that it's scary, but I have been sitting in those shoes too, and I chose to not be a weenie. I could have been a big sissy and sat back and gone like, oh, well, it's too hard for me because, and I chose to fucking step up. I was totally uncomfortable out of my comfort zone. Talk about scarcity. It was the epitome of it, afraid of everything. And I did it. So if you're using that, it's scary or hard or uncomfortable, you're being a weenie. And we can never ever skyrocket while we're being a weenie. We don't get courage unless we feel afraid. So that fear is actually such a beautiful stepping stone, and it's such a beautiful momentum when I feel the woman coming in who's my soulmate, and she has that fear and she just freaking rises up with this courage and does it with me then and there. Now I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this fast, because that is the only energy that makes change, that makes us feel proud, successful, like we're winning, like we're totally Wonder Woman badasses. Being broke isn't spiritual. That's not something that, that our beautiful younger women are going to look up to. Wow, look at that broke, insecure chick who's so fucking afraid and scarce. We can change that. We don't need to be afraid of it. It's a really beautiful thing. Getting measurable results and giving value is amazing. It's incredible, in fact, and it's a freaking game changer. You absolutely can be spiritual and abundant and rich and sexy. You ain't got to give something up, girlfriend. You can have it all, right? We can pick from everything. The more that we strengthen our weaknesses, the more that we round out and find these strengths, the more incredible our life is. The more power we have, the greater our reach is, the faster we learn new stuff. It's this incredible thing where once we get this momentum, we start getting really good in these areas of money and spirituality and emotional strength and physical strength. It just starts, it's like this wildfire that keeps going. It's amazing. So if you have an excuse after, I'm settling, but really feel into that, because that's some serious bullshit. And if you're ready to stop settling, make a move, baby. If you know I'm your woman, reach out to me now. If you're like, this is a freaking soulmate. I just talked to a new client today. She's like, oh my God, I was watching Jay Shetty, and then she was just watching all these people, and she's like, and then you came on and I knew I needed you. So if you're like, this is the woman, I want what she has. I want her recipe. I'm done. I hear this all the time. I'm sick of my own bullshit. I'm done. And the synchronicities and how I found you in the divine timing, this is it. So if you feel that too, reach out. Baby girl, I got your back. All right, thanks for listening.